wording, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu within the Quran, this is Allah giving us an opportunity to prove what we have said. Allah is asking us to back up our claim. He is saying, you say that you believe. So here's an opportunity for you to prove whether you do actually believe or not. And that's why every single time Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, after that, either He commands us to do something, u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum, worship your Lord, your Master, your Creator, or He tells us not to do something. La takunu kalladhina a'adhaw Musa. Don't be like those people who tormented, who harassed the Prophet Moses, for example. So whenever Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, that's going to be followed by a command or a prohibition. The verse that I quoted very specifically, Allah says, Kunu qawwamina bil qist. Stand for justice. Stand for truth. Stand for what's right. Shuhada'a lillah. Witnesses before God. And the Prophet ﷺ exemplified this. I want to tell you a little story from the life of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ, when you study his life, there's a few segments of his life, a few different eras of his life that we study. The first 40 years of the life of the Prophet ﷺ are what's called pre-revelation, pre-prophethood. Then you have the next 23 years. The 23 years are divided between the first 13 years, which is the Meccan period, and then the last 10 years, which is the Medinan period. Now something very interesting, people talk about, what have you done for me lately, remembering the most recent current. There's an element of that here, and also there's of course a lot more documentation about the end of the life of the Prophet ﷺ versus the earlier part of his life. But the bulk of the information, the bulk of the conversation, the discussion about the life of the Prophet ﷺ will focus towards the end of his life. The Medinan period, and even that more so the end of the Medinan period. You will find more detail about the last couple of years of the life of the Prophet ﷺ than the rest of his entire life. And then the Medinan period is very detailed. Then when you get to the Meccan period, even though it was longer than the Medinan period, there will be a lot less discussion about the Meccan period. And then there is close to none, there's little to no discussion about the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before revelation, the first 40 years of his life. Well, one of the very fascinating things that occurred in his life before revelation, he was 20 years old at that time. And Mecca had been suffering through a lot of chaos and disarray during that time. And they had just come out of a very brutal war that many, many people had died with it. And they were just tired of all this. They said, we need to end all of this. So what happened was that they decided to put together an alliance, to have a pact, to take an oath. And it was known as Hilf al-Fudul, the honorable, the virtuous, the noble pact of social justice. And they sat together and they talked about the fact that we will grant safety and security to immigrants to Mecca, that we will look